Inspiring Network. Harpreet, you have donned so many hats. Of course, I know you were in a corporate job, you've been an influencer, creator, I should say, and now an entrepreneur.
मुझे याद है when we started out, it was all about reviewing products. Today, I cannot review and give my review on anything until I'm extremely sure of it. Because children, mothers, women, grandparents, they all are using what I'm suggesting. About 22 years later, I have finally done it. So I was promoting a lot of. I believe in women entrepreneurship a lot, and I feel that every woman should work. मुझे ना सबसे ज़्यादा satisfaction मुझे जब मुझे मिलता है women entrepreneurship के लिए. बाकी सब मैं कर रही हूँ. Mom, I got something Times in India recently, but the Parents' Voice Award, that was beautiful. That was for finest creators in the country. They have put together in a room. For whatever passion you have, God, हमें भगवान सबको नवाजता है किसी चीज़ से. I found mine. Just find yours and stop waiting for that one person to come and push you. Nobody's pushing you. Just do it yourself.
So Harpreet, thank you for joining us on Big Voices, our own podcast from Women Inspiring Network, and I'm so glad I'm meeting you after so long. I know we did a lot of stuff during the G20. I remember we did those panel discussions, and now of course we are focusing a bit on India, as I just mentioned.
I'm so glad.
After Davos earlier this year, then Cannes, and our next stop is New York. But I'm so glad, and Harpreet, you have donned so many hats. Of course, I know you were in a corporate job, you've been an influencer, creator, I should say, and now an entrepreneur. So I actually want to know about your latest venture. Tell us about your entrepreneurial journey and how you're making that impact with entrepreneurs and other people from tier 2, tier 3 cities. Just tell us a bit about that.
It all started, Stuti, with finding a job 20 years back. And I remember I had no help. My father didn't know anyone. I didn't know how do I get into this corporate world. I was very disappointed. And I really tried calling whoever I could just to get that one interview. And I had, again, no support. So now, उस दिन it was very मैंने सोचा था कि if I ever become something in my life, I'll make sure I'll hold every hand that comes to me. It was a promise I made to myself, and I think about 22 years later, I have finally, done it. So I was promoting a lot of. I believe in women entrepreneurship a lot, and I feel that every woman should work. And I was doing a lot of work for women online, and now it's translated into offline, where I have got a whole. It's a whole showcase that I've brought together of women from tier 1, 2, and 3 cities who are creating some amazing things in us Indian artisans and designers, and they're showcasing at a store that I have built. So from digital space to offline space. Come and meet your designer, who's the person who's creating it, what goes behind creating all these things. So ऐसा सब कुछ कर, it's like my passion project.
No, when I was chatting with you earlier, I could see that, and you told me like it's like a whole pop-up concept. You're hand selecting, you're curating. Whether they are in the garment space or accessories or jewelry.
There's so much talent, Stuti.
In our country,
so much talent, and there's no space for the. So I see women who are, being literally robbed of the money with kind of expensive pop-ups they were doing for a day, and I just felt that how will they ever scale up? Somebody has to come forward. And I went around with this concept for 6 months, door to door, asking people if they would believe in it. And then I found people who believed in the concept and said, we will go all in with you. And here I am with a huge 30,000 square feet space, opening 4 more. And I have 2 lovely partners, who again believe in the same vision that I have. So we're doing this together.
So I'm glad you're scaling up, and that is impact. So now I would call you are an impact creator and not just a content creator.
Thank you.
And you were telling me earlier, like the kind of. So today, tell me, like, what is it, since you are in the content creation space, tell me, like, and you've been doing that for 7 years, how has that evolved? Like, how has the space evolved? How should each content creator make a difference to stand out in terms of its own space?
Sabse pehle, we need to know what we are good at. We are all missing the point. We are all just thinking how I see around. I feel everybody just wants to sell a lipstick or a diaper or a beauty FMCG product. Nobody is realizing that this is such a responsible job. We're not only here for free lunches. Because I came from a corporate background, I took it very, very seriously. So I knew that if I'm saying influencing, I'm making a difference in people's life. So मुझे याद है when we started out, it was all about reviewing products. Today I cannot review and give my review on anything until I'm extremely sure of it. Because children, mothers, women, grandparents, they all are using what I'm suggesting. So the responsibility has to come on us, and we have to be very, very responsible talking about what we are talking. So that's one most important thing that I believe in. And then how it's evolved, there's so much that has come in. I think everybody has gotten, this is the only medium now, I think. And newspapers, radio is सब dated होते जा रहे हैं. This is the only thing that's, even me, like for my own brand now, I am only going out to influencers, and I keep telling them when I talk to them that it's not just about money always. There's so much purpose we are bringing, to this space. I hope people understand that.
I like the word purpose you just said. And I think that's given me an idea. I think we should go to more influencers. I'm not doing a lot of influencers on our big voices. As you know, like, we get corporates or, world leaders on our platform from Davos and
The
Cannes
finest.
and
I wait to hear them, I love your podcast.
Yeah.
So much to learn.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think content creators or creators with a purpose is something which we should look after. As I was mentioning it to you earlier, like how when we were at Cannes, which was the Creativity Festival, how content is being perceived differently, because your biggest ad tech companies, from your Spotify to YouTube, Instagram, Meta, all of them are there, and they have these real life experiences. And so one of the things I felt that the Indian creators are missing there. In fact, one of my speakers, Anupama, who heads Havas in India from a creative agency, she had just won India's first gold on her creative campaign, which was Ink of Democracy. And she said, Stuti, I just want to say this on your platform, and she came on our podcast and she talked about it. She said, like if it's someone from other countries, like whether it's Brazilians or Africans, there's a role, even if there's an acknowledgement. She said what is missing in India is that we don't come together as a community, and somewhere we also need to stand apart. We can't just be a consumer economy. So I wanted your thoughts, like like what you've done, you being a content creator. Now you've taken your entrepreneurial journey because you wanted to help people with a purpose, the other people. So you said, okay, I'm going to give them this platform. So what's your whole take on this? Like, why are not other creators such as you doing the same thing?
हमारा थॉट ही नहीं है स्तुति, हमें बड़ी ये बहुत छोटी सी इकोनॉमी है अभी क्रिएटर्स की, हम सोच ही नहीं पा रहे हैं. मुझे लगता है कि मैं अहेड ऑफ कर्व इसलिए रही कि मैं कॉर्पोरेट जॉब से आती थी. I've done PR, branding, communication, I've done all of this. I always want to move forward, next step. If you see 90% of creators, they are the housewives. उनका थॉट ही नहीं है, वो अभी वो फिगर आउट ही कर रहे हैं, with due respect to everybody. But they try to figure this out कि ये है कि ये बिजनेस है, चाहे GST, हम GST की लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं कि हमें GST आना चाहिए, कंपनी बननी चाहिए, नेम को ऑफिशियल करा दो. ये थॉट ही नहीं ना. आप मुझे बोल रहे हो कहाँ से जाना है, कहाँ पहुँचेंगे. अभी तो बेसिक की लड़ाइयाँ चल रही हैं. ये सॉर्ट होगा तो जाके we will think that maybe another 5 years down the line, I'm so proud of what Masoom is doing, what Deepa is doing. We are setting the benchmark right now for others to follow. I've realized that when I did this, what I'm doing, this was my next step. I could see this is what I want to do next. But I'm so happy that, and I know it right after I've done it, there'll be a lot of women, thinking about it. वो सोच ही नहीं है ना. अब ये सोच आई कि अच्छा ये भी next step हो सकता है. Like when I started a foundation, so many people started a foundation. I built an office for myself. I felt like I'm not sitting in my drawing room and doing this over on my bedroom. I need to have an office. I need to have a team.
You corporatized yourself.
Yes, and that's when I saw a lot of creators realize it. There can't be, shuffling teams. The team has to. You've seen my team. They've stayed with me forever. ये अब हो रहा है. आप तो बहुत आगे चल रहे हो. अभी नुकसान हो गया. वो भी नहीं चल रहा. I'm being honest.
And so tell me, when you started your entrepreneurial journey, did you have any sort of challenges or setback, or you only saw the opportunity?
Here now or
Now,
right अभी तो oh you have no idea how. So I do things out of passion. मुझे लगता है ये मुझे करना है तो फिर ये मुझे
You are
करना है.
instinctive.
हाँ. So when I left my job, everybody was against this whole idea of leaving the job. My own bosses told me, you could not leave a high-flying job, and you're on top of your career, and with children you're leaving your job. But that time, my motherly instinct was too strong, and I knew that I only wanted to look after my children. Then when I was doing that, I realized hearing that what am I doing? I have a bigger purpose to myself. What will my daughter think? And my brother told me that, I remember, that you will only be called Ayat and Anki Mummy. Is that what you want to be called? Don't you have your own personality, your own persona, your own conversation? What will you draw? Something really made me feel, yes, I should do something bigger. And instead I would just come in. And that's when I felt that, and when I started Grab now, मैंने मैं कर रही हूँ सोचा ही नहीं था. I was just talking to women who were as lonely, as confused, as helpless as me. I just shared my journey. And I think
And maybe you were one of the first ones who was a mompreneur, and your name, Mom Wears Prada. So
I started it out and nobody even understood. Generally, people thought that I'm going to walk into like an office or wherever I'm going to meet people with a diaper bag and a child in my hand. They never could understand that there's so much a mother can do. A mother is a decision maker of the family. ये किसको समझ ही नहीं आ रहा था. There's beauty, there's fashion, but there's one woman who decides the entire budget.
And now, I mean, it's also changing the entertainment space. Like even if we give the example of Bollywood, like earlier people would shy away once they would get married. But now, if you are pregnant, you will sort of flaunt your baby bump, or you do those photographs, or you'll say you've had a baby. And then you go back to making movies and actresses, and we've done it.
And that's so beautiful.
And that's so beautiful. So I think we've come a long way from that sense. And
I restarted my career at 35. When I had just given up everything. Like given up means closed the shop, got into motherhood, and suddenly then I something. So having my children made me realize this. First born rates. When my daughter was born, I just felt that if I can create this, a woman can create anything.
So I agree with you, and that's the reason I mentioned to you, like I take my daughter, you have to let your children see you work. So I took my daughter to Cannes so that she could see, and she got so much more out of it, like an experience, an exposure, which is what I see globally. See, in India it's much more easier because we have the help of the family. We also have help who can take care of your children, unlike the West, where when women have had children, actually it's much more difficult in that stage. In fact, for us to get back to having careers or fulfilling our dreams, it's much easier from that.
Again, it's an opportunity how we see. When I went back to work, I was really spoken bad about it. She left her children, her only thing is her career, and I was like, who are these noises? Like, what are these noises? I want to do what I want to do.
And a happy person is a happy mother and a happy family, so that's very true. In fact, I see a lot of people, like especially globally, like women who could be in their 60s or 70s and they're grandmothers now. And yet they're going for the second innings and third innings. So I just feel it's never too late. Now tell us about the various awards you've won in your journey, and which has been your favorite one? Like which sort of just gave you that satisfaction?
So many, and I'm grateful for everyone, but there's one I got in Singapore. So that was on empowering other women, and I applied for it, and it was recommended by one of very, very senior person in one of the government departments. I did them, and they forwarded my request, and it came by, and that was on my, and I took my daughter with me, and they on the stage they asked her that, do you want to say something for your mother? I was very young, she was 7 then, and she just turned around and said that my mother works so hard. She deserves every bit of this. She's a very young child to have heart. So that made me feel that, oh my God, the impact I'm creating here, so early, so young. What a successful, confident woman she's going to be, So वो मेरे लिए बहुत graceful था. Then there was something in Lucknow from the governor I got. Again मुझे ना सबसे ज़्यादा satisfaction मिलती है जब मुझे मिलता है woman entrepreneurship के लिए. बाकी सब मैं कर रही हूँ. I got something in Times of India recently about the Parents' Voice Award. That was beautiful. That was for finest creators in the country. They had put together in a room from Kavya, sorry here. Who's that curly tails? Name the person. That person was there, and you know how I see myself in them. कि मुझे इनके साथ खड़ा होना है. You know how you have your own aims and aspirations. तो सारे ही यार श्रुति में बड़ी grateful हूँ. मेरे ये dreams थे. I used to see my when I used to work the city walk, my mentors and bosses used to get these awards, and I used to keep thinking that oh my god, like whoa, like एक कभी जिंदगी में ऐसा वक्त आएगा कि मेरे हाथ में कुछ ऐसा होगा. And today when I walk up to the stage, I always say that I can do it. Anybody can do it. Like anybody can do it. It's not difficult. You just have to have that purpose, passion, that intention to create and do it for others. You know, universe is watching you.
So how do you balance the personal and the professional and the me balance?
ना कुछ नहीं होता balance. मतलब there's nothing called balance. I always say it's prioritizing. There are times that I want to watch a movie with my daughter and do nothing, and I'm very guilty about it. But then there are times that I really want to watch a Netflix movie. I love eating fruits. Okay, so at night मेरा एक ritual है कि I watch Netflix mindlessly and I'm gonna have my mango. It's a joke in the house, but that's what I like to do. And I don't want anybody around in that time. And I want my lights on. I don't want my husband also around. And it's fine. I want to live guilt-free. I'm 43. अगर मैं अभी भी इतना सोचूंगी.
Yeah, that's true.
If I so my father was not well and I had to be fully there with him, and that was my duty and I did it with full पूरे दिल से. But then there are times I don't want to go to my daughter's baby. I tell my husband, yesterday I was in a very important event and my daughter fell sick. She came back from school and I told my mom-in-law that Mama, can you go? My husband had sent with Didi. ये मेरा husband है. He's my backbone. He always says, I think COVID changed a lot in my house. You know, we were all trying to be perfect and then COVID hit us. And we just became what we wanted to be. And you know, just send Didi with her, it's going to be fine and don't take all on yourself. And he really releases me. I sometimes, do end up taking a lot on myself and he says, you don't need to. You're one person and you have many roles to play. So you need a very supportive partner also.
Yeah.
But then balancing तो होता ही नहीं है, you prioritizing. आप घर के मतलब how sometimes we say that we are screaming on our children, आप घर गंदा कर रहे हो, आप ये कर those children, our children are only going to remember a happy mother, not a mother who's always irritated. So I don't want to be an irritated mother. I like to be happy and keep the house also. अब उसमें कपड़े साफ होना हो, घर गंदा होना हो, sometimes I let it, and I feel they also.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's
It's
just
okay.
fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's normal. You're human. Everybody's a human.
And they're kids. I don't want my kids to be perfect. Trust me, I don't. They travel so much with me, and the whole gram keeps asking me that you travel so much with your children. When will they study? And I always tell them that what they are learning out of school is so much more than what they're learning.
The exposure is different. So the other day I was actually hearing someone's podcast, and it was on parenting. I don't know. So I'm one of those. And suddenly I asked my daughter, and then she was doing her homework, but she didn't hear it. And I said, where? She said, of course I was hearing. So so when you expose them, their hearing and their other abilities really grow. So I also really believe that kind of exposure, if you're in a position to give children, you must.
I don't baby talk my children. I talk to them one-to-one. I share exactly what I go through. I'm in a meeting, then I'm in a meeting. I'm in a party, I'm in a party. I need space with daddy right now. I'm very clear. I want them to, be the same with their partners. I make sure there's a lot of love that they see in the house. I make sure that my son sees that every day we do talk to our parents. I want my son to learn. ये बड़ी clear expectation मेरे बच्चों से मेरी. And they can go wrong as many times. They can be as naughty as they want because this is childhood. I'm not training dogs. I don't want to train my children. I tell them if I'm wrong, I'm very apologetic, and I always tell my children that I am also young. This is my first time. I have not been a mom in 7 years. I don't know. जैसे तुम मुझे पता ही नहीं है. जैसे तुम सीख रहे हो वैसे मैं सीख रही हूँ. So my son talks to me very maturely, he doesn't like me on the gram. Full respect. I understand that.
No, mine doesn't like me on the phone. She's like, you're always on the phone. And I'm like, okay, now I'm going to keep my phone
So, you know, I
again.
tell my children, this my daughter tells me this sometimes, and I always tell her that, beta, mama can be in this moment with you because mama is not in office. Now, I could go to office and you'll not see me all day. And would you like that? Or would you like this, mama? She's like, no, mama, you be here, be on the phone, no problem. Because that's my office.
I'm going to say this.
Because that is this, my phone is my office. This is, and I tell them that this is where the money comes from.
I told her I can't ignore calls. But yeah, these days it's a bit crazy because we have calls with people from US and Europe, so you don't
And I know you
minutes.
must tell it. I could tell my children when I'm coming here, I told them what this place is and why am I going here. If I'm on NDTV, I tell them, see, mama came on. See, Suti, they're going to be so proud of us. They'll be so happy to. They'll be like, our mothers made a difference. Imagine, मुझे तो ऐसे बच्चे चाहिए जो जिनको और मुझे कुछ नहीं छुपाना उनसे. If I fail, I tell them. If I do good, I tell them. And they will only learn from our experiences.
Yeah.
So I bear it all with them.
Yeah.
Kids are very smart and very intuitive.
No, and very intuitive and they know exactly what is it is. So tell me, so you are constantly evolving. You're one of those content creators. Now I'm going to use the word impact creators
Yes,
for
ma'am.
you. You know,
Let's change it on the brand.
for 7 years now, and you've of course had, and I think your content has also evolved drastically. You were saying there were a lot of mother-in-laws who were sort of watching your content, and you found this new purpose. So tell us, what is next for you? Like, what do you see yourself like 5 years down the line? Like, what do you think? What's your aim? What's your vision?
इसके ना दो आंसर. एक इसका आंसर है जब मैंने रिजाइन किया था ना अपनी जॉब से सुधी, मैंने उस दिन सोच लिया था अब मैं किसी एम विजन नंबर कहीं नहीं भागता. अब मैंने इस मोमेंट में जीना था कि आज है, आज को जीते हैं. 5 साल बाद मैं हूँ भी कि मैं नहीं हूँ. कोविड अगेन टॉट अस. सो वन इज दिस आंसर आई गिव टू एवरीबॉडी दैट आई एम नॉट चेजिंग एनी. मुझे कोई एएम जीएम पीएम वीपी एवीपी कुछ नहीं बनना. मुझे हरप्रीत सूरी बनना है जिसके लिए मैं पैदा हूँ. बस मुझे वो बनना है. सेकंड, यस, इफ यू लुक एट बिगर पर्पस, मैंने अपने आप को प्रॉमिस किया था कि आगे बढ़ने तो सबको साथ लेके जाऊँगी. तो बस मैं उस पर्पस में काम. एनीबडी हू कम्स टू मी आस्क्स मी फॉर हेल्प, आई वांट टू बी फुली अवेलेबल. अब मैं 50,000 या 2 लाख लोगों को तो नहीं हेल्प कर सकती, पर जितना वो कर सकती हूँ ना, आई वांट टू. सो आई वांट टू मेक दिस न्यू venture that I started bigger. We are going to different cities. I want to take it not just national but international because I want to see my country women who are doing fantastic job at global level. And I see that happening. And it's going to happen because again, our intention, purpose, passion, सब कुछ कितना pure है. अगर मैं किसी को help करने के लिए कुछ कर रही हूँ ना, तो मुझे पता है universe has my back.
Yeah, that is something even I believe. If you're doing something, you know, you
a
have
big
gratitude, you have the right energy. You know, even for our global event, you know, sometimes I just feel, oh my God, how am I going to just pull it through? And I just feel the universe aligns itself.
It aligns everything.
And I love the fact that you want to take these women global because that's also the big mission. Like, we want to talk about the success stories of the Indian women globally. You know,
these women, if you see, they didn't even have packing bags, but they're so good at what they're doing. So मैं उस level पे काम करती हूँ. I mentor them for social media, advising them on various things. I want to invest in their businesses because I see that there's so much potential here. But that woman doesn't just know how to even hold a phone and take a picture. But the garments are beautiful. So I want to go all in. And you know, when I was doing this, while I was in this whole process, I kept thinking to myself that I'm 43. I'm doing extremely well in what I'm doing. Do I want to take this plunge? Because this is starting from the scratch all over. I've never had a store. I don't know how to run a store. But one thing I learned from Mr. Sharma, who I worked with at Silex, he always said that get fresh perspectives, get new people. Never work with people who have a fixed notion. So that's why whoever I'm hiring is also from different backgrounds in terms of my team. तो मुझे कहीं ना कहीं लगा कि चल यार लाइफ ने एक और कुछ दिया है मौका, let's just go all in. So I've just gone all in to maybe help hundreds of more. Social impact, I don't think दुआएं लेंगे.
no. So in fact, you know, this I'm actually going back to my conversation which I had with Shruti Rani in Davos, and she was saying, Shruti, you know, like, okay, we are the privileged one who can actually buy a ticket and reach a place like Davos, you know. But what about the people who cannot even visualize that, but who have the talent? And of course, I said the government needs to support it. So Harpreet, I'm going to come back to you when we are in talks with the government, but if we are able to put together a program where we can showcase or expose these women there, that will change their lives. That will change their lives to see what happens at global platforms or what is the kind of thing which is happening. So hopefully we can do that sometime in future, and I'll definitely reach out.
I work with many of them. I also work with another community, Stuti. It's called New Age Confidence. You know Ankita?
Yeah.
She has this about 250-300 women again working out of homes. I'm an advisor with them again on social media. These girls are doing pickles, papad, and scalable masalas. You can't imagine what jadoo they have in their hand. And I just feel so bad that sport karna chahiye man. But because they don't have funding, there's no investor.
So they can't scale up.
So that's where I've come in, and I thought that this is what my next mission is. That I'm going to get them to scale up, go international. Why can't their jars be in self-fridges and the basement with all food courts?
Yeah.
They are doing so well for themselves. Yeah, that's.
And for this kind of amplification, we actually need the government's support, because then they can penetrate deeper, and because I know we all have limited bandwidth from that set, so we can do something at a very upper level, but to go deeper and deeper, we do need the government's involvement, and I hope they can hear us do that. And now, any last thoughts, any sort of winning message for women out there? Because as you know, we are an inspirational storytelling platform. We want to know about people's journey, which can inspire others out there. So I want you to leave us with that thought.
I always say that nobody is coming for you. Nobody. You have to do it for yourself. So just get up for whatever passion you have. God, हमें भगवान सबको नवाजता है किसी न किसी चीज़ से. I found mine. Just find yours and stop waiting for that one person to come and push you. Nobody's pushing you. Just do it yourself.
Thank you so much for joining us on Win Voices, and Harpreet, hopefully I'll see you at one of our global events soon.
Absolutely.
We should we should work towards it, and maybe in 2026 it happens. Because we are doing 4 global events, which we are pretty much clear about. And if we do get some support, I will reach out to you. But thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you.
Can we have one official?